And welcome back, guys, to Starforge. We will be entering our podcast segment where we'll be talking. I wouldn't really say talking about, but this is a little bit different from our previous podcast topics, I would say, as we're going to be getting a sneak peek of the pro and campus plans for the next few months within the year 2020. Joining me today are some very familiar faces, especially if you guys have caught the previous podcast during the first weekend of Starforge. With me, coming from Liyab Esports, is Gerald Magic Six Sobrepena. And from Esports AcadArena is the lovely Arian Metanoia Pod Lim. How are you guys doing this evening?
Well, it's Friday night, and we can't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Ah man, you just had to remind not only me but everybody out there that's kind of like, ooh, I wish I was out right now. How about for you, Gerald? How's things at the Liab Gaming House?
Well, everyone's fine. And I think everyone's in good spirits because of the news that MSI is gonna be cancelled
Mm.
and that we're gonna follow the actual start of the split. So there's gonna be a lot of time for us to prepare.
Oh man, speaking about the announcement, there's one thing I want to ask you guys, but I'm gonna save that towards the latter part of the podcast. If only we have a few extra minutes to spare, kind of itching to ask you guys about it. But we'll stick to the topic first and foremost. Like I mentioned, we'll be talking about sneak peeks, whatever. Okay, audience, you have to be with me on this. We're gonna try to dissect as much as possible. We're gonna try to get these guys to spill today on what they can for what's gonna be happening over the next months, especially for those of you that are excited for some what's happening on the Liyab side, what's happening as far as the activities that Esports AcadArena is going to be rolling out. We have a lot of collegiate players that have been up and kicking and interested in all the activity that they've been putting out there. This is a perfect opportunity to find out and maybe ask a few questions. If I find any interesting questions in the chat relative to our topic today, I'll try to bring it up. Help me out here, guys. Help me out. This is one of the unique things about how we're doing this podcast here on Starforge. So, okay. Just a quick recap. We've already kind of talked about the state of what's going on in esports given the whole pandemic uh, outbreak across the globe. Now, I think it's already been a week since we've talked about this. So, how have the adjustments been going so far for you guys since the last time we talked? Why don't we start off with you, Metanoia Pod?
Um, well, because we deal mostly with students, we definitely have to adjust depending on their schedule.
Right.
And well, even if quarantine lifts for most of the cities, or well, they just announced that it's gonna get extended until May 15th. So even if that happens, um, there's no school, and they're not in the state to compete seriously either. So for the next few months, we already canceled our summer split, and for the next few months, we will have a summer quarter instead. That more casual, more community building, more of those posts that we've been shouting out recently, like FIT Neil offering his number if UST then solo kills him, and then yeah.
I just love those little banters. This is something I was talking about with during match where usually you get the for some of the leagues that you watch or tournaments, you just get the straightforward whatever's happening on the rift, and just these little bits of banter coming from the players on the side spices things up a bit. How about for you guys, Gerald? How's the adjustment been going over at the Liab Esports side?
Well, actually, we're in the process of um, trying out people for
Ah,
PCS. I think what's unique about a league format is uh you can change every week the members that you're gonna be playing. So we're looking into the idea that we're gonna try out some people right now that's not originally part of the roster. Um,
oh.
it's a complicated process right now because of the ECQ, but we've been able to have some of them go here in the boot camp to personally try out for certain spots. But that doesn't mean that we're not gonna that there's no chance that we're gonna be fielding the same people for summer. It's just that we want to make use of the the opportunity that you can have as much as five substitutes for a PCS team. So we want to look into having some rookies have some international experience for summer split.
Fair enough. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Whether or not we'll be seeing any switcheroos. I guess going into that's still a bit of a long way to go, especially with MSI canceled. There's, I assume,
Can
quite
I
a number of weeks.
something, Arvin?
Yeah, please do.
Because I'm not sure if this was because of COVID, of course, but PPGL did drop League of Legends.
Mm.
Yes.
So how did that affect your academy team?
Okay.
Ah,
It's a bit of a bummer because that's where we wanted to field the academy first and foremost. We wanted to debut them in that tournament. But considering that, we because of, thanks to Cabbage uh influence not only in C but in across other regions, we have been able to secure scrims with other organizations with academy teams. So basically, it's Liyab team one versus their team one, and then their academy team versus our academy team. So um, it it's not actual competition, but I think it's still a good way to spend time during this pandemic, and to maximize all the opportunities that we have to get them ready, just in case in when all of this gets fixed, um, we can field them properly, and they can show what they've learned with Liab, with their time in Liab.
in connection, I guess this is a question that I'd like to bring up with you, Arian, because now that you guys mention it, the whole pandemic, not only in terms of just PPGL dropping League of Legends, but also in terms of the limit of tournaments we can actually have. I mean, we have a few online community tournaments happening here and there, but there's nothing really as solid, I'd say, that you could use as a reliable scouting ground. Especially if you're Liyab Esports, wherein there's a certain limit to the pool that you can lend to, except for just so happen to be Esports AcadArena, I would say, where you have a lot of collegiate talent up and coming. Uh, would you, that said, would you say that there would be more activity coming up that grants these organizations the opportunity to maybe look at Esports AcadArena as the optimal scouting grounds this time around?
Okay, that's interesting because Leah, we did have boost camp with Leah before the entire lockdown happened, and it was quite successful and it was quite well received as well. And we did try to kind of see how it can work in a LAN setting. And sure enough, it really inspired a lot of these kids. Like simpling, like for example, LG Julie, the Ateneo jungler who won in the by a landslide, by the way. I don't know, angkan niya, tinawag niya angkan niya para mag siya.
Famous.
He was commended by TG in that boost camp.
Oh
And
wow.
after that day, parang alam mo yun, yung dati hindi mo siya idol, tapos ngayon, na-recognize ka ni TG, who's the assistant coach of Liam. And now, in their group chat for LG Esports, he's called Liam Julie instead of LG Julie. Like, a short sentence like that can change someone's motivations. He hit Challenger today. And
Oh wow.
for all we know, it's because like it's part of what TG was able to impart to him during that time. But going back to your question, the quarantine situation really made us realize how little access a lot of our community, especially the campus community, has for internet, computers, all that. Like they can't even study. They can't have online classes with it, which is a huge bummer. Cause and then why even think of doing serious tournaments for that? So the activities that we have right now for student orgs again is going to be more casual, more community building, similar to what we're doing with Starforge. And we are opening an amateur open called the Aces Amateur Open. It just concluded yesterday, and tomorrow yung finals niya. And doon mo makikita yung amateur talent. Liab is going to TriCast tomorrow, no?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna send TG to join you guys
Wow.
to be part
That's
of the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Sarcastic.
That's gonna be interesting. I mean, even if it was just a spur of the moment kind of thing. I recall Cabbage joining us out of the blue last week, and that actually went pretty well. So I'm really interested in seeing more of these Liyab guys just hop in on a cast with us because they, in all fairness, they actually bring some pretty good insight. And I see that even during the AMA, TG has a great personality. So are the
Yeah.
other guys. So I hope we get more of
Lagan
that.
turn into Lagan,
Yeah.
PG.
Turn into the Laglagan AMA exactly. Since we were generally on the line of talking about uh player development, acquisition, I would say. A lot of what you guys have mentioned. I mean, Aryan already talked about the efforts for development prior to the whole pandemic. Magic Stick, you kind of touched up a bit on your plans going into summer. You know, maybe there could be changes, maybe not. Let's talk about events a little bit further on because I think with a lot of the competition that's been happening globally, the pandemic just happened to come in the middle of a lot of these tournaments wherein some of them in fact had to get postponed for a bit while the productions, the league operations figure out what they're going to do as far as these adjustments. But now that we're a few months into the whole thing, I'm pretty sure that a lot of these organizations have already planned out how they're going to be approaching what is essentially the summer season already for a lot of these esports titles. And I'm pretty sure for you guys as well, you've already had an ample amount of time to kind of figure out what you might want to be doing going into the latter parts of the month as well, kind of the summer season as well, I guess, for you guys. So, yeah, let's talk about activities and events coming up for you guys. How about you, Metanoia Pod, because I'm kind of curious about how you guys are going to be approaching the summer season in terms of activity, given the climate of Collegiate, where, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of some of these players, in fact, with the absence of having their own setup at home, it's been kind of popular where a lot of college students like to lean towards cyber cafes to play. So, yeah, let's start with you.
Well, actually, a lot of how we're designing our online activities is based on our learnings then working with the app. So, Gerald and I, Magic Stick, and I talk about how to engage the audience well during that boost camp. And we have that even if we put pros there kasi, parang lahat ba ng pupunta challenger? Lalagyan mo
Mm.
ba ng rank requirement? What if puro gold or platinum yung pupunta and then pwedeng mahiya sila or posible naman din may mga iron na pumunta and then the most of what they're gonna talk about is gonna like go through their um so the same way we are going to tier our online tournaments based on the type of players that we know already exist. So for example, may mga mahiyain na naglalaro ng league casually, wala pang team, but they want to feel comfortable in joining the campus spirit. So there we're going to have intrams or e-trams for different games na school exclusive lang. So at least hindi sila masyadong mahiya na matalo sila against another school agad. Parang ganun. Parang within the community muna.
Right.
Then next, we're going to have some intercollegiate bakbakan. Na, yun lang. Two campuses, four team representatives each. And it's going to be called rivalries. So for example, earlier today, the Visayas votes for All Stars concluded. I think umabot ng 6,000 votes yung entire thing. And Cebu from third place, University of San Carlos, hit first place, overtaking West Visayas and University of San Agustin. So sadly, USA wasn't able to make the cut for the two slots. So posible magkaroon kami ng USC versus USA rivalries because of that. Because the communities already kind of had voting wars na eh. And then after that, that's aces is where yung rambulan happens. Kapag mas confident na yung mga player. So that's the display.
Okay. Glad to hear that this is the same aces that we're seeing here at Starforge, right? So that's going to be continued moving forward over the
For
next.
different games.
Awesome. Okay. How about for you, Gerald Magic Stick Sobre Peña? You guys have already done a great job, by the way, with Starforge, to both of you. One of the event hopefully we see more of these events from Liyab, not necessarily Starforge, but just general. I think events in general, where we get to see more activity not only from the organization, but I guess involvement from the players and coaches as well to an extent. Do you guys have any activities or events along the way? If not anything solid just yet, maybe any plan?
Um, well, we're looking at because we have a lot of time now instead of the because instead of the shortened start of for summer split, um, we're looking at doing weekend streams when the players have no um scrims. So we're basically just gonna continue the community matches that we're doing for Starforge. We're gonna make it something that's consistent. Um, especially we're not doing this just to market the players. I think it's also gonna be helpful for the players themselves because I think the situation with ECQ and the pressure of summer split starting is taking a toll on them, and having them relax on weekends and having fun against playing with the same people in a more fun setting is gonna be a big stress reliever for them. So aside from that, something that we learned, to give context, something that we learned um ever since spring split ended and we're scrambling to prepare a roster for summer split is that um it's not just that the we expect rookies or players with no international experience um to have to have anxiety playing against actual teams, because for example right now I think this is something that I can share because
Sure.
I make decisions for this one. We're trying out Kanji right now as part of the main roster. um he has been able to play in Korea for quite some time, and he has been dominating in KR along with Doi.
Wow.
Um, but when he played his first game against an actual team, and it's not even a strong team. It's just a one of the bottom teams in VCS. Well, he got smashed.
Hmm.
It's reality hitting him that okay, there was a certain part of the game that his teammates were asking him, "Are you gonna can they dive you? Are you gonna die?" And he said, "No, they can't dive me." And then he famous last words, he dies after after 5 seconds. So well, I talked to him, and he realized that well, he told me that he realized that it's really a different thing playing solo queue or playing against Philippine teams compared to playing against more organized teams from other regions. So we were expecting him to adjust faster than the usual players because we have high expectations um, for him, but that's what we learned. You can't really gauge how good the player is um, until he actually plays on stage or until he actually faces an actually good team from other region. So I've been talking to Aryan for quite some time on organizing a separate collegiate league where we're gonna be well we're hoping that the top two teams can be some of the players that we're gonna be looking at to add into our roster.
Oh, we're saying that
Uh,
too. Yeah.
I think we can discuss that. I mean, we're just looking for the resources, but I think it's something that's already uh concrete, right? Like the need for us is there, and then the need for collegiate players to showcase their own talents. That's not PPGL or that's not Lenovo League of Champions is a matter of interest for both of us, right? And especially for us, now that we know that it takes a lot of time because we I personally I've been part of Liyab for 1.5 years, and we've accepted one or two people only beyond the actual main roster during that time, and we're we're just realizing right now that it takes a lot of time, not just 1 month, not just 2 months, for a rookie to be actually ready to play in the PCS. So like we want to make use of the time that's given to us right now to to increase our bench, to fill up the academy spots, and be better prepared for we're not even looking at the summer split, we're looking at 2021, because honestly our roster is aging. I mean, the average age is like 24, 23, and that's a bit old already for an esports team, right? So um yeah, we're looking at doing a separate collegiate league, just a short term 1 month period, uh to see who are the players in the collegiate level that have the potential to be part of Liab.
Yeah. So while Arctic is
Just trying to
in the
get up,
void,
yeah, get back
Kiba is in
out
the
of the
void.
void.
Yeah. So what's kind of interesting about this academy league is, yun nga, yung tulad nga ng sabi mo, we both have that need to hone talent. Kayo to scout talent. For us naman, the reason why we want more experience for our campus teams is because we look at the international scene as well. There are a lot of international campus tournaments that we want to just really be part of that top three, you know.
Mm.
And the thing is, even in collegiate abroad, China still stomps. Like, oh my god, they would destroy Korean teams. Like it's not even close. And even the meta, like before Karthus Jungle was a thing in amateur or even pro, I already saw it in Chinese collegiate. Like that's how advanced they are. And that's just how good these teams are even in a campus level because there's just so much of them. So hopefully the quarantine situation eases up for like the last quarter of 2020 kung gusto pa natin makahabol sa mga international tournaments. And Karthik is back from the void.
Yes, I am.
You're
Sorry
safe.
about that. A little bit of a bug on my end. Luckily, I was able to smoothen it out. Just had to restart Discord. Hopefully, it doesn't cause any productions to our guy on the back end. Shout out to Justin. um, but yeah, we from what I picked up of, I guess you guys have got quite a bit in while I was reconnecting. I caught it watching on the actual Facebook live. While, um, so there was a bit of a touch up on, you know, Kanji's progression, and I guess it's like academy to an extent. It's an interesting team. We could call it a program in a way, as well. I'd like to, if you guys don't mind, transition the topic of programs to the esports AcadArena side because we already got quite a bit on the alliance program that you guys are running right now. Is there, out of curiosity, if you wouldn't mind sharing more Metanoia Pod, because I think it's definitely an interesting step up to just the collegiate esports industry in general. Is there any more that you could talk about that we, especially looking forward to the alliance program, go further? Um, just a little bit more detail, if you don't mind.
Well, what's kind of unique about the Alliance program based off our other variations that we've tried before is that we're opening it to all student orgs, like all of them. So it doesn't matter if you're like a bio org or a music org. I mean, gamers are everywhere. And your choice of course or how busy you are in your major shouldn't affect you having that experience. Like, may time limit ka sa pagiging student eh. Like you have 4 years, 5 years. Well, sa UP, I don't know, may limit na 7. Hindi may bigay pa silang limit na 7. But after that, you have to go to the real world where you probably cannot explore, experiment to go into esports anymore. And we want to give that moment in the limelight na meron kang, kasi kahit naman campus lang yung league mo, later on, kung maganda yung production, you have the same treatment as a pro player. Eh. May big stage pa rin, may prize pa rin, may championship pa rin. And echoing that to someone who can't pursue pro, it's just gonna be the highlight of their student life. Like I'm pretty sure UST uh if they didn't have esports, parang they wouldn't have that if there wasn't campus esports, they wouldn't it's very hard to get that international prestige considering how pro players just so much is so much more competitive.
Agree.
So aside from that, we do have a lot of educational materials for these different orgs because we're going to ask them to choose parang skill tree sa RPG. Like kung anong job yung gusto mo na ma-experience. Do you want to experience events? Do you want to experience being a caster? Do you want to experience more about being a pro? And meron na kaming nakalatag na skill tree. Something like that.
It's an interesting. Okay, I mentioned step up earlier. That's actually a whole step up that I wasn't expecting because obviously, especially during the earlier days, normally I think of the players first and foremost because they're on the front line. We see them on the streams, but we also have those little things, the back end of things, I guess, behind the scenes, where we also have the student leaders working with the teams and so forth. So it's great to hear that this program not only, I guess, encompasses the players, but there's also a way of tackling other facets of the industry that you're willing to help these students as well. Okay, so we talked about the alliance program. Let's talk about just this mashup that we've seen because we've been seeing a lot of collaborations between Liyab and Esports AcadArena as these previous months have gone. You guys have had um, the on-site event that we had at ESC just like two. Has it been 2 months already? I lose count
Yeah,
of
actually.
the
Actually.
number of weeks that have passed by, given how long we've been in quarantine already. And then we have this. We have Starforge going on right now. Are there any other collaborations that we could potentially look forward to in the future?
Well, we're looking at the um I mean beyond the collegiate side of for her plans for alliance. Well, we've recently been notified that from the Mineski side that they're willing to lend their talents to be part of the boost camp. People like Manjin, people like Wolf, who
Mm,
are already doing great as casters for multiple games, right? Um, and what we realized is that some players that are involved in some students that are that are involved in esports and gaming might not really be good enough to be pro players
right,
or to be esports athletes, but they might have other skills that are gonna fit somewhere in the esports industry, and that includes being a streamer or a talent or an influencer. So that's something that we're planning right now to add in the next iteration of the Academy Boost Camp, and bring in some really established people with experience to share their knowledge to these to students from different schools, because some of them right now might not be thinking about it, but once they're part of they join the boost camp, they might realize that, okay, wait, I, I have good public speaking skills. It's just that I never realized that I can make use of it and still be part of esports, right? Because
right,
I mean, ever since right from the start, majority of the the community events that are held for esports are just like tournaments, well, the community matches, um, show matches between other streamers, other talents. There's been no record of seminars, or I mean, there's very few seminars or talks that focus on the other aspect of esports, such as the production, the people involved in the production, and the stream itself. So I think that's something that we wanna include in the next iteration of Boost Camp. Aryan told me that she might want there's a possibility that we do it in like an online lecture um in the past, and that's something that we want to explore. I just I was just iffy about it when she talked about it, because well, I thought that the players are gonna be busy. Cabbage is gonna be busy for PCS, but given that the time has been extended for us before the start of the summer split, I think we can squeeze in some online lectures between AcadArena and Liab for the duration of the quarantine.
Something
Can
to
I
look
just
forward to.
share a story about what Magic Stick said? So
Yes.
absolutely right about
What is this?
how certain no, he's right about how certain students may not be good in pro, but not realize that they're good elsewhere. One prime example is Uomi.
Are you saying he's not good? He won a championship in LCL, right? LVL,
Okay,
right?
so Uomi, like, di naman siya nag-champ sa LCL eh. LVL na siya nag-champ.
Yeah,
And,
LVL nga,
Ah.
LVL nga, LVL nga. I corrected
yeah,
myself.
yeah, LVL. Sa LVL siya
Don't take it
nag-champ.
away from him. He might do something to himself if
Right,
you.
right. Yun, when he was still a student, he was the captain of the team, and because of him, Teletypers was able to grow the way that they are now. Like they're so dominant right now nga, di ba? Pero yung side story kung bakit siya naging caster is because I lacked casters for a certain weekend. And because of that, I've been eyeing for new talent to just kind of throw into the fire. It's just that it kind of sped up because there was an international broadcast for LICC. So I real talk Uomi and told him, dude, I'm pretty sure you have the guts. I mean, if you know him in real life, you definitely know that Uomi has guts. Meron siyang kapal na mukha and diction and good vocabulary because he's a lit major and
Definitely.
for to be a caster. And now look where he is. He's cast at PPGL. I think he had a cast with a bunch of people from Netherlands like the other week over a charity stream. So he's going places, and it's just it's just that matter of a push. He didn't believe either na kaya niya until we got into a bit of practice. I was telling him what he's doing wrong because he had that thing that he likes to edit himself on the spot, so he ends up not casting. So I told
Ah.
yeah, because he's a lit major, of course he's gonna want to edit himself all the time. So I told him just go with the flow, and then if he says bad stuff because well he's steel. Uh, he it's just practice, and yeah, now he's play by play, which is one of the hardest roles.
Hmm. Definitely. I love how we got into that side story for a bit. Yeah, clear examples of collegiate talent showing promise in other fields. Since we're already on the topic, because normally when we talk about people that we see from LCL, LBL, and now Esports AcadArena, normally we recall the people that have gone pro. We have Rays from UST, Miko's from Ateneo. More recently was Vansu from Holy Angel University. Um, are there any talents that we can look at potentially that we might not know of or haven't really been highlighted as much who have managed to make that transition from being active in collegiate to activity in the industry out there, I would say.
I mean, you should ask Gerald. He already saw them anyway. And Kanji used to be was the campus champ
Oh, there you
under
go.
him. Yeah, he's one
More
of them
recent.
in the transition. But Magic Stick, can you share us kung ano yung missing traits na lang ng ibang campus challengers natin ngayon?
I think it's this is something that I've told Kanji in recent days, given the realization that alam mo yun, there's a lot of adjustment that he needs to make if he really wants to be part of the main roster. I think for challengers that want to make the jump from collegiate to pros, I think it's you need to how do you, how do I say this without offending some people?
Okay, okay.
Because I don't want them to come in na mababa na agad yung confidence,
Okay,
na
fair enough.
masyado malayo yung skill level. Ano eh, um, I think they need to find balance between um knowing na they still have a lot of things to learn and still be confident na they can do it. Na they need to believe in themselves na alam mo with the right guidance and the right training, they can be as competitive as the players who spend hours and hours playing honing their skills
Mm.
to play internationally. I think it's setting expectations. I think that's what I want to say. like knowing at what level you are right now, and then knowing which areas you need to to improve. And I think that's something that's Kanji is enjoying right now with the help of Gabish and TG. So I mean, he has the mechanics. I mean, I've seen him. I mean, even just in the scrims right, yeah, today, they were playing against a Vietnamese team, and he has been solo killing his opposing laner. The problem is when it's already team fights, and then like recall timings or wage management. Um, that's where he is having a problem.
Mm,
So obvious naman, andun yung ano eh, andun yung raw skills eh. It's a matter of if the coaches can make can harness that potential and have him really be part of the main roster.
fair
To
enough.
what Magic Stick said, I guess I can be the harsher one. You have to
Okay.
be. I mean, dapat alam mo na by a certain age, if you're not this good yet,
Oh my god,
then
you're going there.
most probably, it's not cut out. You're not cut out. Like most probably, because
Yeah.
it's not about success naman eh. Like there are studies showing that, especially for MOBA, uh, magpipeak around what 21 or so because you have a good balance between understanding the macro, the strategy, and having the reaction skills for
Yeah,
it.
the reflexes to ano.
Yeah. And then pipick ka ng ganon and then bababa na siya. Like
Yeah.
it's natural. It's biological. It's not you, it's your genes.
Yeah.
Um so aside from that, if let's say you are that kid who was like challenger by 15 years old or something, if you do not have the emotional quotient, which you get when you mature, then you will probably not be good in a team environment. Kaya the solo queuers are having a difficult time transitioning to a team. Eh. It's because of that. Yung hiya, yung na solo queue god ka before and then now you're in the ocean of pros, mga tipong ganon. If you don't
Mm,
have that growth mentality na hindi ka mahiya about it, and then matitilt off the face of the earth ka na. And then, wala, it's the life of a pro player eh. You're out there, you're being exposed, matatrash ka ng community for a failed flash, for any little thing, really. It's just part of the career.
Mm. Yeah, pero ano naman, I mean, yung what Aaron's saying is for majority, pero there are some people naman na late bloomer talaga sa esports. I mean, for
Mm.
example, Joker from Sandbox, right? He debuted for pro play at the age of 27. So, alam mo yun, it's ano eh, it's think about how much time and resources you have if you really want to pursue esports. So, alam mo yun, kung lacking ka na sa resources at time at the first place, tapos, alam mo yun, mid-link ka pa lang with skill level, mentality, and emotional conscience, sabi ni Aryan, you might want to, alam mo yun, look elsewhere sa esports rather than trying to push yourself to be an esports athlete, right? But at the same time, yeah, I do agree na emotional quotient is a big factor. And well, to be honest, that's one of the big reasons why we're giving Kanji so much opportunity right now. Because for the last 3 months that he's been in the boot camp, um, the little things that he's shown is are really great. It's just as simple as when we're screaming, even though he's not part of the main roster, he watches the scrims of the main team, takes notes from Rex and how he plays, admitting that Rex is infinitely better right now than him in terms of like playing in a team environment. Because I'm sure in mechanical skills you can match him, but like Rex has an aside from his mechanical skills, Rex is one of the shot callers of the team. I mean, the language barrier doesn't matter for Rex because he finds ways to communicate with his team with the rest of the members. So that's something that we see Kanji taking notes from time to time. And at the same time, um the the day in the first day of the scrim, admittedly, he was hit hard by the realization that it's a different playing field. But the next day he was able to bounce back, and then now he's performing well. And also, I guess something that's good to share is they're playing in Korea right now, right? In Korean server right now, diba?
mm.
And then I think the account started from like T5. So him and Doi were smashing from D1 to D5 to D1. And once they got to D1, now they're playing against um high skill level players na ng Korea, and then they're occasionally running into LCK players or CK players, and then they lose. And they're for the last 2 days, dahil hindi na siya nakaka-focus sa solo queue dahil nag-scrim na nga, he's going in and out of D1 D2. And um instead of crying na parang alam mo yun, ang hirap ng solo queue na I'm not able, hindi ako nakakaakyat ng maayos, pabalik-balik ako sa D1 D2. He keeps on harping na sa sarili niya lang, naglalakad siya around the bootcamp. Tapos sabi niya sa sarili niya, okay lang natin sa tututo ako, okay lang natin sa tututo ako. Alam mo yun, para siyang baliw pero sa totoo lang, it's a good sign na without us telling him that na okay, na mag-focus ka sa what you learn rather than the LP that you lose or you win. He knows by himself na solo queue isn't for climbing. It's pag nasa team ano ka, nasa team environment ka na, it's about learning things from solo queue and then transferring that to actual team gameplay, right? So I guess that's the many reasons why we're giving Kanji this opportunity for summer split. Sobrang admirable lang talaga ng work ethic niya tsaka ng mentality niya.
To add to that as well, because I the viewers will think that Academia, like because of all this talk, diba, about having an academy towards pro and all that, um, we don't encourage all students to pursue pro.
Mm.
Not only because it's like the top 1% to do that. I mean, like at the end of the day, Liyab is like just gonna send one team, and that's like 5 people, diba?
Mm.
Um, but also because we believe that there's so much other skills you can learn about your course or esports outside of play. Like that's what we're. I mean, our hashtag is not just play for crying out. Like we really believe that, and just because you're not on that stage doesn't mean you can't have a fruitful esports career either. I mean, if you think that way, then what are we? You're a caster, I'm an organizer. I'm a magic stick who I'm pretty sure wanted to be a pro player before. So
Sobrang
yeah,
competitive ko eh. Nalulungkot
yeah.
nga ako pag ano eh. Napo-fulfill naman yung dreams ko ngayon. Kung naglalaro kami ng normal tapos binubuhat ko sila minsan. Mm.
Okay, okay.
That's for me this. So
Binuhat ko po sila sa
anyway,
norms.
so those things, we still have the same opportunities. Like Gerald was able to go abroad because of esports tournaments. I get to go abroad as well because of sending campus teams. Pero nandun pa rin yung yung prestige. You may not be in the limelight,
Oh.
but you're still totally a very important cog in that role. Hindi lang
Right.
top to support yung roles eh. There's coaches, there's staff, there's Prod who is typing in all caps right now. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many other things. And kung hindi mo naman trip maging player talaga, that's totally fine. Like, hindi mo dapat yun na ikakahiya. If anything, it's great that you're aware of what you want in such an early age.
Yeah.
And at
It, it,
least you
it,
can work towards it. Kasi kami, for sure, hindi namin alam anong gusto namin ng college. Like, like ako finance major and then naging esports. Yung first job ko, esports agad. So, what the hell am I doing in my life, diba? So that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this collabs with AcadArena, Liyab, and boost camps is to help students realize that. Lalo na ngayon na medyo na-displace sila outside the classrooms. I have some players na is actually very bored because they're not in the classroom anymore. Like the tables have turned, right? So
Interesting. I'm glad that you brought that up because I think a lot of people that look at these, like some of the streams, especially the matches, again, that's usually what you see on camera. Um, if not the players, sure, maybe the casters as well, interviewers, analysts. People don't realize that there's just so many facets that you can enter. Really, you could kind of start working on that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us, including myself, you have those initial aspirations of wanting to go pro, but eventually you realize, you know what? I'm just not cut out. I don't have the skills. I'm like at gold something. Those guys that are pro, are a challenger. I've been gold for like the past 3 years. Not that I kind of am stuck at gold right now, but yeah, not before. You try to make that climb and then you realize, oh, I just peak at diamond two at most, and that's it. So yeah, other facets, and honestly, even based on my own experience, I can say that, just realizing that early on and realizing, it's all about figuring out what your niche is, I guess, and knowing what your strengths are and figuring out at what part of, if you really want to pursue esports, like what part of the industry you could
No, no,
practice.
no. I mean, even in life in general,
Oh, true.
it's a valuable skill to know what you can and you can't do, because that leaves you with making the easy decisions kung ano yung kailangan mo i-pursue, ano yung kailangan mo pag-spend ng time and resources, kasi aware ka na okay, I'm not cut out for this, but I'm good at this. Um, and that's something that's useful beyond esports lang. Beyond yung pagpe-pursue ng career sa esports. Sa actual life, that's something na you can apply, 'di ba?
I mean, kahit sa pag-ibig, di ba? Dapat alam mo pa rin one, di ba?
Pag di dalawa na mag-asa,
Yeah.
that's a valuable skill. You save a lot of time and resources and money,
Mm, especially money,
especially
based on experience. Single life, perfect. Defensive, Bakit single ako? Nakatipid naman ako eh. Anyway.
Defensive natin, it's all personal.
kaya papunta-punta na lang ng Thailand na maraming pang bakasyon.
Oh, well, tingnan nyo. See? At least nakapag ako. Kala nyo, love life pa kayo dyan. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and move on to if you guys don't mind indulging me, we've had a lot of great insight, and later on, guys, by the way, quick heads up lang kasi we're going to be wrapping up this podcast a bit. I'll be calling out the names that we initially drew for the community show match coming up right after this. To if you guys are watching right now, Alcalde, Faith, CJ Pogi 123, Z Jeros, Solace, and Broken Pice. No, Pieces, sorry. Pisces today. Pieces. You guys are the six initial players that I randomly drew. So hopefully you guys are watching right now, or hopefully naka-idol lang kayo sa mga clients niyo, because we'll be inviting you in just a bit sa ating custom room. So congratulations to you six. If di nyo ma-accept yung invite a few minutes after we open the room, then unfortunately we'll have to start inviting other people just to get the ball rolling. Syempre, ayaw namin kayong pag-antayin. Sasagutin namin kayo agad. Hindi ako mahugot anywhere, by the way. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about these fun stuff. Okay, gaya nga ng sabi ko
May
at the start of
icebreaker
the,
na naman 'to.
not really
Paano
icebreaker, just a little bit, just kinda, just theory crafting. No. Just the what ifs, I guess. So
what if?
yes, the what if.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just
because
fixing my charger.
sure. Because you guys have been planning obviously over the past weeks, and based on experience, some even in business, some companies usually plan out as early as like kunwari mga patapos na yung 2019, nakalatag na yung plano nila for the entirety of 2020. So I'm sure you guys have a few plans na hindi niyo pa na-reveal. So I'm gonna try dissecting a bit, if you would indulge me, kayo na bahala, with how you'd approach some of these interrogations, I guess. Okay, so let's go straight at it. Mm, kayo na bahalang sumagot ito. Are you gonna approach this from a business perspective? Are you gonna approach it from your own personal liking and hopes and dreams? First up, if you were to add a game, of course, for you, Gerald, it's gonna be in the Liyab Esports organization. You already have AOV, you have League of Legends, you have StarCraft, you have Hearthstone. For AcadArena, you're gonna be adding games in the future, so hopefully we can pick up. If you could add a game to your respective organizations, what would you want to add? Are you gonna approach it as a spoiler? Are you gonna approach it as personal preference? Maybe. I'll join in for the fun. Sure, I'll join in as well. If it were me, straight off the bat, I would say Valorant. Pinag-isipan talaga. Pinag-isipan. Isa-spoil ko ba yung balak na namin idagdag o magpa-personal na muna ako? Or magbabambuzel na ako na kung wari personal pero totoo pala.
Okay, kung personal, okay, let's start with personal. Just
Okay,
because,
okay.
just because I want to see it. Sans the lack of players and all that. I want to see Battle Right Tapos. Like, please, oh please, please, I want to see it. For everyone who doesn't know about Battle Right, and you have Steam installed, this is a free game. Kung gusto nyo magbakbakan lang, in a MOBA perspective, minus the lanes, minus the farming, minus the equipment, this is your game.
Ito ba
They
yung
did relaunch the esports side of it in NA and EU recently.
ito ba yung third person?
MOBA perspective pa rin siya. Tapos, ano lang
Ah, okay.
talaga siya, no lanes. No
Ibang
lanes.
game yata yung sinasabi ko.
Walang equipment. Talagang skill, ano lang, skill lang.
Kayo rin
So,
chat, sagmagot din kayo. Ah. Okay.
Mm. Smite pala yun. Okay, okay. Smite yung sinasabi ko, sorry.
it's gonna happen here. But for the multi-title games that we're gonna have, will never disappear. At least this year, kahit may COVID, it won't disappear. We're actually planning a few things for May to July for Hearthstone. That,
Oh,
that doesn't just involve the Philippines, by the way. Yeah. So there's that. What the other thing that we're looking at to add is Dota 2.
interesting. Okay, some juicy spills from Metanoia Pod here. Okay, your turn, Gerald Magic Stick Sobre Pena. What? How are you gonna approach this question? I'll give the floor to you.
Ako personally gusto ko i-add sa team namin na team. Or esports title. Gawing
Esports.
esports title. Siguro
Yeah.
overcooked. Overcooked. I mean, mukha siya nakakatawa. I mean, ang fun ng graphics. Pero sobrang competitive nung game. Nakaka-bad trip na ano. Na it's like that. Na parang minamakan ng mga characters na ano. Hindi ka marunong sumunod ng simple instructions. Mas nakaka ano. Mas nakaka ano siya, nakakabuhay ng competitive drive.
Interesting. Based on experience ba
Based
to?
on experience, oo, nakakaano siya. Akala ko nung una fun and games lang yun, yung pala ano pala siya, ang tawag dito, intense pala siya. Mas ano pa eh, mas competitive pa ako doon kaysa sa LOL eh. Ano na eh, nag-mellow down na yung competitiveness sa LOL eh.
May shot calling bang nagaganap pag naglalaro ka ng Overcooked?
Hindi pa ako nakapaglaro with friends, as in na apat, pero feeling ko malaking bagay yung shot calling doon. So,
Oh my God. Yung tipong magkakaroon ng mga FO pa pagkatapos pag may medyo... I can't say bad words on stream, pero alam niyo pa,
oo
pag
nga.
may kakampi kayong ganun. Marami tayong na-encounter na ganun, Gerald, doon sa circle natin. Anyway.
Why, why don't you guys add that for your content before PCS?
Mag-overcook
Yes!
kami, no?
Overcooked Invitational between the Liyab players.
Sakto, kaya pala namin bumuo ng dalawang team. Oh.
Yan. Okay, guys. You heard it here first. Pag nangyari siya, alam na. Okay. Let's go for the next one where we're gonna try to pry a bit more. Okay. So let's say, assuming that quarantine is done, the Philippines is back to normal. If you could open something outside of Manila, because obviously there's been a lot of focus on Metro Manila. There's quite a number of cities as well out there now. Actually, I've been discovering this recently, meeting different people in the industry. Now, oh my ganap pala dito sa city na to down south or up north, or even through Collegiate, you find out about all these activities from the students, yung mga efforts nila. But how about for you guys? Let's say if you yourselves were to open something outside of Manila, whether it can be a training camp, start a league maybe, or a program activity, where would you want to direct your efforts to within the Philippines and why? Um, anybody want
I'm
to?
gonna start now.
Okay.
I think given with our experience with Doy and Kanji, I think it's a no-brainer to like if we have the resources to focus on building a training camp in Iloilo, and then alam mo yun, looking for the best possible talents um available there. Kasi there's merit to it, right? I mean, Kanji and Doy, kung raw mechanics lang, they're consistently top 10. I mean, Doy ended top 1 last season, right? And then Kanji had top 3 top 10 challenger accounts. Um and at the same time, believe din kami sa ano, sa na-ready sila for ano, na-ready sila. I mean, ang bilis nila mag-mature, ang bilis nila mag-improve. So, pero it took us some time to find them and to for them to be part of Liab. And I think having a dedicated training camp in Iloilo, knowing na They're super competitive. I mean, they won the last AcadArena for League of Legends, right? Kanji's school. So it's obvious na maraming magaling na players doon. Yun nga lang syempre iba pa rin yung meron kang actual bootcamp there to look for players, to train them. Kasi I'm sure ano, I mean hindi naman lahat ng magulang papayag na ilipad namin.
Right.
Ilipad namin. I mean, kailangan din namin kausapin yung magulang ni Kanji para pumayag sila na ano, na magstay dito. And then from time to time they're still asking kung ano ba, pinapauwi nila si Kanji because of the
Right.
situation. It's just a good thing na Kanji's committed din naman to the team, and we're doing ano naman as the organization naman, we're doing a good job taking care of the kids here, and then making sure that they're safe and they have all the things that they need.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Metanoia Pod? If you don't mind, I'm gonna challenge you. You can't say Iloilo anymore.
Buti
Sure,
na
I'm
una, sabi
more
na
than
buti na
willing
una
to
ako.
Okay.
see, we've already worked with Iloilo. So the one that I'm looking at is Cebu. Um,
Ah,
not only because, well, my mom's Cebuana. So to an extent, meron akong link doon sa city na yon. And they do have quite the mature esports scene as well. If you look at the other esports tours of the different organizers, Cebu is always part of the list because they do have a significant gaming population. And if we're looking at League of Legends, they just won first dun sa Visayas voting overnight, which was absolutely crazy to do. That means they do have a lot of support there for just one university. Wala pa nga yung iba eh. And if we're going to also open up for Dota 2. What more? Where else but Cebu kung saan galing ang Android demand? So it's just a strategic location that has untapped potential when it comes to campus.
agreed. Okay, so Iloilo for Gerald. For Arian, it's gonna be Cebu. Quick for me, I would say.
Thailand.
No,
Hindi
given,
hindi po hindi
siyempre,
po yung parte hindi po yung parte ng Pilipinas ah.
ay, hindi ba? Hindi ba? Nakawala na ako sa geography natin eh. Parati ako hindi. I would say Pampanga. Only because we've had a PGS team from Pampanga. Vansu, who played in LST last year, also hails from Pampanga. A lot of great talent there. And I love going up north to Subic for vacation. Talagang yun ang dinahilan eh. Pero yeah.
What's the priorities?
Iba
Iba pala talaga eh. Tinapos niya dun sa ano niya, personal ano niya.
Yeah, and we also have Clark International Airport, and it's a fairly decent trip away from Philippine Arena as well if you want to do events there. So a lot of stuff could happen up north as well. Doesn't have to be in Manila. Anyway, sige, dahil we're already nearing the end of our time. I know a lot of you guys want to hand up for the community show match. Hay nako, tingnan natin kung suswertehin ako dito. Sige, para fair, sasagot na rin ako. Magre-reveal na rin ako.
Oh my god. Anong ano, I mean ano kasing tanong na naman to?
Single ka, hindi, joke lang. What is the biggest project you're working on that you can talk about? Just very, very quick. You don't have to go in depth, but something that's big now you could either straight up say or kahit maybe some kind of hint or like a side way to go about it if you want to. Kayo bahala with how you want to approach the question again. Be as creative as you want.
Starforge?
Hindi counted yun.
um, ano ba? Ano ba something na hindi ko na pwedeng i-reveal na ano, na notable? Hindi, ano eh, hindi ko pwedeng sabihin kasi it's beyond Liyab eh.
Oh, okay.
I mean, wala akong ano eh, walang I mean, there are some things we're working on hindi lang as Liyab as people with resources sa esports.
Okay.
Um
So I
to it has something to do with ano, other parts of esports, hindi lang yung competitive.
okay, that's
Yun,
good to
I
know.
think that's something I can ano. It's for talents, it's for aspiring talents, it's for aspiring casters and influencer streamers.
So I guess like we could say it as it doesn't necessarily involve the direct players you have, but it's gonna eventually include other people as well.
Because I mean, gusto namin mag-grow from an esports organization na marami lang teams into an esports organization na may fleet of talents, streamers and influencers din naman. So yeah,
Okay.
we're working on something sa ano.
The Noah's Ark of esports it is. Ariane, how
Awesome.
about you?
I guess for okay, there's just certain games that has a great campus culture outside of the Philippines. So meaning there's a lot of opportunity to do international when quarantine is off. So so how do we hone local talents kung kulang yung local talent? Like that's our problem with it. So why not just, do the international thing right away? Like yun yung magiging approach namin sa kanya. There's very few games that has shared servers. If only League of Legends isn't region locked, we would have done this ages ago. But it's going to be for another game. It's going to be cross continent. So and it's going to be soon.
Top League incorporate esports.
Association of Collegiate Choo
Pacific.
Asian
something.
nations.
Asian and maybe beyond Asian nations. Okay, me, what can I say?
Ano proyekto? Wag mo sabihin myself sasakaling kita.
I'm working on myself and improving myself to be a better person. Me, sige, I'm just gonna say na lang na it's something that I'm gonna be involved in relative to something that's gonna be something
Oh,
that's hotly anticipated. That's
nalilito na
just
agad ako.
something that's hotly anticipated by the community. So abangan nyo na lang.
Ay, nag-wild trip na agad siya.
Wild Rift agad-agad?
Mhm.
By the
Hmm.
game community though or a different game community?
Um, hindi ko pwedeng sabihin. Basta gaming. Sa gaming yun na yun.
Binibit ka ni Aryan mag-rift
Oh,
public.
kamay. Basta within something that's still close to my heart. Hindi
Ay,
siya, wala siyang kinalaman sa love life. For clarification lang, gaming.
gaming.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much guys. Before I let you go, are there any last shout outs and messages you want to give? Lalo sa'yo, pangatlong beses ko na to tatanungin sa'yo, Gerald, pero tatanungin pa rin kita ulit. Sige, ikaw muna. Since, yeah, may gusto ko pa bang pasalamatan on your third time dito sa Starforge podcast?
Actually, ilang beses ko na nakakalimutan at feeling ko papagalitan na ako. Okay. We would like to thank Globe for for
Yes.
for for giving us the resources to do Starforge, and then showing na esports can go beyond gaming and playing. Na you can give back to the community, to people who need through esports and gaming. So i-reiterate ko lang na Globe has pledged already 100,000 upfront for the for the benefit of the Philippine Heart Center. And then the community match, and then the alliance best of 3 earlier, and then the all-star best of 3 match sa Sunday. Yung winning team doon, every champion takedown, baron takedown, and tower takedown, may equivalent na cash na we would donate to the Philippine Heart Center. So I mean, salamat sa Globe for helping us do Starforge and then give back to the community. Especially na maraming nangangailangan ngayon, especially yung mga frontliners for because of the pandemic.
Yeah, thank you very much. Globe, a lot of my projects, in fact, locally have been relative to Globe. So again, thank you, Globe, for making Starforge happen. Metanoia Pod for the second time around. Any message or plugs you would like to make?
Mm, well, just bouncing back off what Gerald did say, it's actually like aside from Globe doing this campaign, it's actually great that they also believe in campus esports, like so much more. Like they do push us to do a lot of experimental stuff that we otherwise cannot do with like others cannot do before, like even in corporate. Like it's great that they do put the trust in us and it's great na yung community din pinapakita na they're they want to be engaged, that they're interested in these programs. They do also want to grow together with us. So it's just really great. And then I guess for the students out there, kapit lang for the actually LaSalle students, you guys actually have partnership with Globe very soon when it comes to getting data for your online classes. I think it was posted earlier by LaSalle page. So it's great for them. Maybe kung may taga student council dito na nakikinig or kung makakilala kayong student council, maybe try to give a proposal to Globe to try to connect the schools to have the same package because it's definitely needed.
Alrighty. With that said, then, if there's no more final messages, we'd like to thank you guys once again for joining us. May guesting ka ba pa ulit, Magic Stick? Oh, ito na yung last.
Doy and Kanji should be tomorrow. Sunday,
Kasi
Aryan.
caster siya. Feel ko caster siya eh. Feel ko siya yung ano eh, daily
Yung,
casting. So
oh my
mag-cast.
God.
Ang huling hirit ni
May,
Magic Stick sa
hindi,
Starforge.
hindi ako pwede mag ano. Mahina ako mag-filter ng ano eh, ng words eh. Baka unang cast ko pala maban na agad ako after eh.
Okay, abangan na lang sa susunod na kabanata ng Starforge. Lalabas pa ba ulit si Magic Stick? And yeah, Metanoia Pod, I think this will be the last for
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
this first podcast. Okay, so
Looks like I'm gonna die, but yeah, we're not gonna
The last one lang for the ano, for the podcast.
yeah, for this podcast. Maybe in the future, you guys will see more of Metanoia Pod. So thank you guys very much again to the people that I called out. If not, if hindi nyo tanggapin yung invitation, I'll be inviting more people. Nagsisync yung upuan ko. So, yeah. With that said, we'll be right back in a bit. I'm Mark Tacuno. Joining me was Metanoia Pod, as well as Magic Stick from Esports AcadArena and Liyab Esports, respectively. We'll catch you guys for the community show match, which me along with Unomi, wrong grammar ish. Anyway, yeah, me and Omi will be casting in a bit. But for the meantime, catch you guys in a bit.
Salamat.
No, it's not that I can't open my mouth, I just can't bear to see you crumble then flee. No, it's not that I can't pick up the pieces if you leave, but I'm sorry. Please stand by me, love me every hour. Won't you hold me like spring? Hold all the memories of winter still. Winter still. In my every worry. Capture all my doubt. Rewrite this melody. Create some harmony. Whoa. See these expectations keep me on the ground. You know, keep no wings. See these expectations keep me on the ground. You can't be anything superhuman. Swoop on in until your powers disappeared. Poured your all into lifting me up. No way in hell you're strong enough. I tried my best to keep the love I bleed from turning into greed. In the end, it was insanity, pure tragedy. See these expectations